Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Joel Meyer. And back again, we got Smitty. How we doing tonight, boys?
Pain-free, finally. Antibiotics doing their job. One more day of sobriety, then we get to pull a tooth, which I am most certainly looking forward to. So, doing all right here. Big Canucks trade, which we'll get into. Makes the things a lot less stressful here in Vancouver now that that's finally done. But yeah, good day. Looking forward to the weekend, even though, it'll be a stressful one anyway.
Just sweating this Preds game. Go at work and then down 0-2 like any other Preds game. Anything can happen.
You're on the Preds, I guess?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess we'll see here within the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Especially against the Sabres, they're always back and forth. That's
the Avs are killing the Blues. Looks like 4-0 now.
Oh, nice. I got puck line there. I got Canucks as dogs. Hopefully they're out shooting them 2010 even without JT Miller there. So doing good. Got some bets on Utah as well. That game is in the first period, so we'll keep you guys updated as we go along here. But top of the show, make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. You want to go over puck bucks and then the trade? Just want to go right into it.
Let's get the puck bucks out of the way. I know you had a rough time.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that bad.
Both of us went 3-4. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I did all these records correctly here. Lost on the Capitals Senators under 5.5. I think that was a 5-4 final in overtime. Jets won though against who were they playing? They were playing Buffalo Boston. Boston with a 6-2 win there against Korpisalo, I believe, we're starting. Canadians got shut out by Marc-Andre Fleury in his last game in Montreal there. So good ending for Flower. Lightning minus 155. I have the asterisk.
I was wondering about that one. That's why I had a better day.
Asterisk there because I wrote down Kings minus 155. Then I went back and I was like, oh no, Lightning minus 155. Hit that one. Islanders, of course, they closed like minus 145 against the Flyers, shut them out. And then Edmonton, Vegas puck line. Both of them lost in overtime and then shootout. So 3-4, down 50 bucks for me.
Just a note on that Habs game. The line steamed up to like minus 160. But the narrative won out. Like sometimes there's a good narrative, right? With Marc-Andre Fleury's final game in Montreal, you could tell the Wild played a hell of a game. They really wanted to win that game for the Flower, and of course he stood on his head. But the Habs didn't really threaten. They didn't even get 20 shots on goal. So sometimes there's a good narrative. That's a lesson there, even though the market loved the Habs. Ho-hum day here. Just a slight loss. Sands, this was a sweat, even though it shouldn't have been. They were up 4-2 with like 6-7 minutes to play. Had to rely on Tom Chabot, birthday boy, wide open goal there in overtime. That was nice. Jets, Bruins, less nice. It was 2-1. After the first, thought it was done. But it was still 2-1 after the end of the second. But then there were like 3 fucking goals like in 2 minutes in the third period. So that was cooked. Lightning puck line. Yeah, it was 1-0 most of the game. Then they scored a couple goals late in the third period to get that one. Nice puck line. Oh, my word. I mean, I want the Knights to win every game. And once again, another terrible play in overtime, this time of Petrangelo giving the puck over. And then can't remember the Jackets player, but it steamed on a breakaway. And they finished the job there. Over 6.5, never had a chance. Elvis was outstanding in this one of his best games of the season. So that was just a 2-1 game. No chance for the over. The late game, this was a easy over, I guess. I mean, it was 4-1, 5 minutes into the second. I put on Dunkirk. Great film, by the way. Christopher Nolan continues to kill it. Finally got around to that one. Only got a couple more films of his to watch. Then I just turned it off. Yeah, so I had to look a little while later. That turns out required a couple late goals there to get the over 6.5. But the Sharks, yeah, they just gave up after they gave up to a couple quick goals there in the second period. So, yeah, I lost on that one, but I don't really regret it. They were playing pretty well there at the end of the first period. So, yeah, another mediocre day, but better times lay ahead as always.
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks plus 170 in a game like that, definitely not a bad price. So, and yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Montreal line got steamed up, as did, and I mentioned the Islanders one. So, I mean, get the bets in early, you get the best odds, but it only really helps when you win.
No, it helps when you lose too.
Oh, it helps when you lose too, because yes. All right, Smitty, anything from last night stand out for you?
No, fuck the Sabres tonight, though. Yeah, I was on the opposite side of the Sens game, though. So, great comeback by the Caps, but it was too little too late by the end of it. That was a nice pass in overtime, right wide open, right down the middle.
All right, make sure you check out the SGPN free squares pool for the Super Bowl, $1,000 winner take all for the final score square. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares to sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. All right, Joel, what's the take from Vancouver on this JT Miller deal?
Well, I haven't had a chance to listen to Thomas Dramps's opinion yet, so you have to hear my stupid virginal opinion. Yeah, I think that it's okay. I mean, it seemed like there was a better deal on the table a couple of weeks ago when there was Ryan Lindgren on the table. But, yeah, I mean, JT Miller is a depreciating asset. 3 more years after this one at $8 million, and you'd have to figure that he's not going to have a better year than he did last year. So it's good to get out of that contract in a way, and more importantly, get out of the locker room cancer. And it seems like the team has responded well. They're playing well through 2 periods in Dallas, even though they're losing. Pettersson looks much better, so we'll see if he can benefit from this removal of JT Miller. And he might go still yet. Like, we'll see if he can continue this play or not. But yeah, it's not a bad return, I guess. But yeah, Rangers are all in the near term because, like I said, it's a depreciating asset. And in a couple of years, the Rangers are going to have a fairly old team there with their vets and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's a good deal for both. Considering the Rangers are all in, but they might yet miss the playoffs this year. So yeah, it's a bit risky for them as well. But yeah, I don't mind it. The pick is top 3 protected this year. So if the Rangers do fall off, it's unprotected next year. So if the Rangers have a bad season in 2025-26, the Canucks could benefit even more. But yeah, and the other pieces are very minor from my understanding. I don't know. Mancini seems to be like the best secondary piece of the deal.
Yeah, that pick being top 13 protected is kind of interesting because they can still miss the playoffs and get 14 or 15 and have to send it over to Vancouver for those. But yeah, with the way Shesterkin's playing, they're clearly going for it here. They'll probably buy someone else as well. Seems like a fairly cheap enough price for Miller for what he is for the Rangers. It basically comes down to if Hedl can stay healthy for the Canucks or not. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see now what happens with Pettersson because I like you said, I saw people saying like, oh, they're going to trade Pettersson too. Get a clean slate there, so it doesn't look like Pettersson won the argument over Miller or whatever. So could still be a lot of chatter in Vancouver.
I gotta turn the Canucks game on. Fuck this Nuggets game.
All right, Smitty, you have anything on the trade?
I have not even looked at it yet. Both your teams are pulling off trades today, though.
Oh,
I saw your trade went through too.
Flyers trade just completely overshadowed by this. I mean, Frost Farabee to Calgary. They get 2 NHL forwards for Pelletier, who hopefully could be a guy in Kuzmenko who has a shorter deal, and Flyers got a 2nd round pick. So, I mean, if you care that much about the Flyers trade, listen to Bros Radaki. I mean, it doesn't really impact it too much.
That's all you're giving us?
I mean, it's good for the Flames. Frost is Frost and Farabee slot in on their 3rd line. I think probably a better fit than Kuzmenko. It seemed that he, definitely cooled off based off his start last year. And then Pelletier just never seemed like he was going to stick in Calgary. He was waived at the start of the season. A lot of Flyers fans are bringing that up with being like, oh, why they could have got him for free. Why are they trading away Frost and Farabee? But the big thing for the Flyers is getting rid of that Farabee contract because he had 50 points last year. That might be his peak. He has $5 million more through 2028, so 3 more seasons, and the Flyers need a center. Like Morgan Frost being traded is kind of big, but it's not about this year. It's about maybe getting no rumors or anything, but I could see like Sam Bennett, someone like that, the Flyers signing to kind of bridge the gap between it. And also Kuzmenko played with Michkov in Russia and apparently waived his no trade clause to come play in Philadelphia. So the night when Michkov had a little spat with Tortorella on the bench and got benched, they had another friend for him.
Yeah, Kuzmenko is a friend. He's a very friendly guy, but he seems like the antithesis of a Tortorella player. We know how poorly he got along with Rick Tocchet, so I don't see a fit in terms of the coaching player dynamic, but we'll see.
He waived his no trade clause. Apparently, the Flyers were on his no trade list, and then after a conversation with Briere and Keith Jones, he waived it. So
all right, we'll see how that goes. But the Flames committed; they're still committed to being mid, like giving away draft picks just so.
Yeah, I still don't. I ranted about. I didn't even rant about it that much last night on the Brostraki podcast. But there was one YouTube comment that was like, "Oh, can you believe this guy just whining about how bad the Flames are? He should take a look at his own team." I know the Flyers are bad. I know the Flyers are a bad team, but they're not giving up future assets to try to stay right on the playoff bubble. Because, I mean, I still think the Canucks get in and the Flames don't.
Even when the Flyers were winning games, your guys were like, "We're not buyers, we're sellers." They're committed to the long term.
Exactly. Like we were in a playoff spot last year and traded away Sean Walker for a first round pick. That's what we're doing right now.
Far better strategy than Calgary's.
Yes. All right, guys, ready to get into this 9-game slate, a little bit smaller here on Saturday, February 1st.
Yes,
oh yeah.
All right, kick things off here at 1 p.m. We got the Chicago Blackhawks plus 320 at the Florida Panthers. Minus 410. Panthers puck line is minus 142. Blackhawks puck line is plus 120. Over 5.5 is minus 135. Under 5.5 is plus 114 here. I have not placed any bets yet for tomorrow. I did give these games a few quick glances before we recorded here, but I don't know here. I could see the Blackhawks being kind of feisty here. They did beat the Panthers 3-1 back in November. Even last year, they beat them once and kept it close with a 1-goal loss. So I don't hate maybe a Blackhawks like plus 2.5, under 6.5 parlay. Could see a low-scoring loss. They just kept it close in Carolina, 3-2, 1 in Tampa, 4-2 in Minnesota, and 2 overtime losses before that. So maybe Blackhawks plus 1.5 if you want just like a straight-up play for this. But I may end up doing the Blackhawks plus 2.5 with the under 6.5.
No arguments from me. Blackhawks are playing better, as you alluded to, with their recent wins. Even that game against Carolina, they were in it the whole way. So, yeah, I don't mind the Hawks side there, whether you want to do the puck line or just a money line shot. And, I think that the under is correlated there. I mean, the under I think is good generally, even though it's more like a 6 and this goofy minus 135 thing. But, I think the Hawks and the under would be the play.
And what do we say about these early games on Saturday? Craziness must ensue. I'll take a stab at plus 320. So, and I also look towards the under. Minus 110, under 6 is what.
That's not what I say. That's you're confusing Saturday with Sunday. Sundays are for goals. Saturdays are the sleepy people recovering from hangovers. These matinee games.
Not always. We got that.
Not these early ones.
The crazy 6-5 one in Boston with Ottawa.
Yeah, okay, there's exceptions, but generally speaking, the unders are the way to go in these afternoon shit shows.
Yeah, I have noticed with like big dogs like this, take the Blackhawks along with like a Panthers player or two to get a point, and you get those odds get exponentially there because it's not correlated, negatively correlated there. So not necessarily in under games if you think it is going to go under, but that is something to look out for when you have these big dogs here. All right, we are brought to you by Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino, and you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is there's no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today and use promo code SGPN so you can get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. There you go. But check out mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, so head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, down here, another afternoon game. The New York Rangers at 3:30. New York Rangers minus 105 at the Boston Bruins minus 115. Over 5.5 minus 115. Under 5.5 minus 105. Joel, take it away.
Yeah, it sounds like JTMO is going to play. Players coming off these trades seem to be playing for their new teams sooner than ever before. Used to be like a couple days at least before they started suiting up for the new team. But anyway, yeah. One macro note here is like for the past few weeks at least, the unders have been getting steamed in most games. So if you want to play an under, the sooner the better, because for good reason. Like a lot of these games are going under. We're getting a lot of like crazy unders too, like 2-1, 3-1 games as we enter these dog days of the hockey season. So yeah, the under has been bet a little bit here, but I'd still go that way with the Bruins game and an afternoon game on a Saturday, I should mention. And we got two good goalies here, regardless of who's in net for the Bees. That 7-2 blitzkrieg by the Jets was an anomaly in a Bruins game for sure. Expect them to play better defensively, get some better goaltending as well. So yeah, I think the under 5.5 would be the best play for the side. Bruins are a desperate team. They're right on the edge there. Whether they're going to be buyers or sellers, I heard Cam Neely saying that the next few weeks will be decisive in terms of their future. So, yeah, if Bruins take heed of that, you expect a much better effort. But the same can be said for the Rangers too. They're both fighting for the same wildcard spots now. So, yeah, I got nothing really on the side, but I do like there to be fewer goals in this one.
I already did bet the Rangers. One thing to worry about is the Rangers do play on Sunday. I think that the Rangers try to open things up and want to go fast and go hard. Hopefully,
who do they play on Sunday?
Who do they play on Sunday?
They got Vegas. Vegas.
Sturkin's already confirmed though?
No, he's not.
Oh well, he should play against the Bruins though.
But yeah. Also, the only thing to worry about is Boston. They like to play slow, and if they get a 1-goal lead, they'll just sit down and just play defense the whole freaking time and just wait for the seconds to tick off. Except for that one game, which was a 7-2, like you said, but that was just out of nowhere. So I do like the Rangers. If they can get a 2-goal lead, Boston can't come back from much of those. So Rangers have been a lot more high-flying lately. So I think they're starting to pick up. I'll take a stab at the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't really got too much on this one. Don't really feel too strongly either way. Both teams coming off, back-to-back losses. Boston allowed 6 after allowing 7 in Buffalo. So maybe, I think they're going to try to clamp it down here at home in the afternoon game. So I would look to the under here, but I'm surprised Smitty didn't bring this up. These teams played on January 2nd in New York. Rangers were minus 107. So, now you got the game in Boston where Bruins are much better, 16-8-3, as opposed to 9-14-3 on the road for Boston. So just due to that reason, I think if I can get Boston here at a pick 'em, or if it somehow moves to plus money, I may end up pulling the trigger there.
Bruins are historically better at these matinee games as well.
Yeah,
they always get them. I don't know why. They're Boston, I guess because all the drunken Bostonians, they don't want them out too late. I don't know.
And they get a lot of the daytime, afternoon, national televised games because they're like an original 6 in America. So that does help a little bit for them. All right, down to 7 p.m. here. Got the Los Angeles Kings plus 142 at the Carolina Hurricanes minus 170. Over 5.5 minus 108. Under 5.5 minus 112. Smitty, take it away.
Game's already starting to tick up a little bit. It was minus 155 earlier, so it's already minus 170. I understand why. Kings are on a 4-game losing streak. Bad road trip. I don't think they've won one game on their road trip so far. I'd like to see that continue here. Hurricanes got both goaltenders. It doesn't matter. Both have been pretty good. For that reason, also, I could see an under, but also the Kings want to slow things down. So if I had to, it'd be the under, but I also like the Hurricanes -1.5 plus 160 at these numbers.
I agree with that. Kings are playing like shit now. I don't know why they benched Brant Clark of all people for Drew Doughty. I mean, they need all the offensive firepower they can get, and he's like their best offensive defenseman. They got nothing going from the offense. They have 2 goals in the past 3 games. They didn't even score once when Brant Clark didn't play. So I expect him to draw back in the lineup. But even with that, I don't think that they will win this game. But I do like the under 5.5 as well. I have low event game here for sure. I definitely recommend that most of all. It's the only thing I've bet so far, but I do like the Hurricanes a little bit too. Maybe the -1.5 there. Like the Hurricanes could, they do tend to win games by margin. The under 5.5 would be my favorite bet in this one.
I agree with both of you once again. Kings back-to-back shutout games there in Florida, now going through that gauntlet, third game in 4 nights up in Carolina, who have been sitting at home after a 3-2 win over Chicago there on Thursday night. So, Kane's puck line at plus 160 does look pretty good there, but playing that and the under 5.5, then you need the Kings to get fewer than 2 goals, which I mean they have done in more than 5 of their past 10 games. So I could see Carolina, 3-1, 4-1 type of win definitely could come here. So Kane's puck line is how I would play the side, and I like the under 5.5 at -112. All right, down to 7 p.m. again. Got the Toronto Maple Leafs plus 140 at the Edmonton Oilers -166. Under 6.5 -118. Over 6.5 -102 here. I think that the Leafs here are a bit disrespected at plus 140. I know the Oilers are playing a lot better recently, are coming off that home loss to the Red Wings there in a shootout. Leafs have only scored 1 goal in their past 3 games, but I think that has to come around at some point here. Maybe if they get a few power plays, maybe if they get a few bounces here and there. So I think plus 140 is way too high right here for the Leafs. So, I know they're without Nyes, without Tavares here, but if anything, I'll take the Leafs plus 140.
I think Nyes will play this one. I think so. He was close in the last one.
Even better for me then. Plus 140. As for the total, I guess a slight look to the under here, given how the Oilers are playing defensively, but just the Leafs for me.
Right, yeah. Leafs typically play down to their opponent. You don't want to back them as huge favorites, but you look towards them when they're dogs. But, the Oilers are a fucking wagon right now, and they came off of a tough loss to the Red Wings where they totally outplayed them. So, it's kind of cheap price here for the Oilers, considering the Leafs are not a good team. They're relying too much on their goaltending. So I'm probably not going to bet this one, but if anything, I would look the Oilers' way here at home on a Saturday night. You know how McDavid plays against other Canadian teams here, especially in the limelight of Hockey Night in Canada. So I like the Oilers a little bit. The under 6.5 makes sense to me as well, considering the Leafs struggle offensively and the way the Oilers are playing defensively as well. So under 6.5 would be looking pretty good if I had to bet anything, but this is not a game that I've bet so far.
Leafs on this weird home away thing, starting the road trip now. I do like the under -118. Oilers line is already on the move. It was -148 earlier. I do like the Oilers, but -166 is getting pretty high, especially with the Leafs. You don't know what kind of effort you're going to get. So I do like the under. A lot of Oilers games have been very oddly under lately, and the Leafs with Woll have been playing very well. So I do like the under right now at -118.
All right, go down to 7 o'clock here again. Got the Minnesota Wild plus 124 at the Ottawa Senators -148. Under 5.5 is -115, with the over 5.5 -105. Joel, back to you.
I'm glad you gave this one to me first. I do have a lot to say about the Ottawa Senators. For the game itself, kind of like the -148. The Wild after that big emotional win for Marc-Andre Fleury. And it's a bit of a letdown here just playing the measly Senators, who are on a roll right now, playing very good hockey. should have won that game more comfortably against the Capitals, but Charlie Lindgren was excellent in that one. So yeah, Senators here at under -150 looked pretty good, but I like the under 5.5 even better. Both teams playing excellent defensively. We know about the Wild struggles offensively and whatnot, but elite goalies too. It should be Gustafsson for this one. Yeah, under 5.5 like that quite a bit. But the main thing I want to say was I was creeping along the deep dive Discord, and I saw a comment from one Seesaw, a regular in there, and he recommended Ottawa Senators for the Atlantic Division bet at 18-1, which I tailed for good reasoning. I mean, the Leafs are ahead of them, the Panthers are ahead of them, and neither team are playing particularly well, and neither team looked particularly interested in winning the division. But the Senators, the way they're playing, they have the momentum. They have Omar coming back. They have one of the easiest schedules in the league going forward. The Leafs have an easier schedule, but we know how poorly they play against bad teams. So yeah, the Senators to win the division there at 18-1 is looking pretty tasty. So yeah, that's a good bet, I think. There were a couple other points there, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, Senators, we're back on the Sens wagon, baby. So yeah, hopefully they could have a good final stretch of the season here and then pull out this big long shot bet for us.
Just quickly on that future, I am seeing the best price now is 15-1, and they're as short as 9-1. So I mean, 18-1, even better there.
15-1 or better, yeah, for sure. One offshore book still has 18-1. Yeah, it starts with a B.
Yeah. Do you think there are any Jack Adams?
Ends with an A or a G, depends on where you are.
You think Travis Green has anything at all for
Jack Adams?
Jack Adams, or is it just Carberry?
Nah, I think the only threat really now is Dean Evison. I mean, he's got all the narrative behind him with the the tragedy in the offseason and the fact that they're expected to be like bottom 3 team. He's the only threat right now to Carper. I don't see Travis Green's case being that good. I mean, they were like 9.5 point total. So yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, so it's most likely Carberry, but Dean Evison has a case.
Yeah, this was one of the games that I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on. It was -125 earlier. I took it and knew I could get off of it, so I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were on all this. Sens last game, it was freaking amazing. 2 shorthanded goals, almost a third, but then they still let them back in. Allmark can't come back soon enough. Yeah, Fleury has been probably playing better than Gustafsson, so I'm open to either goalie. But like I said, if you guys are on the Sens, then I already bet it and I'll keep it at this point. So I did. Wow, there we go. Now it moves some more. Right there. Look at that.
Yeah, Sens -155 now. They got -125. Already got. Smitty, whenever you said the line before was this, I feel like it opens at that for like half an hour, and then if you miss that, you just miss it.
I mean, you can figure it out when they release the lines. It's about the same time every day. So if you find it, grab it.
That's one of the points I brought up last year during one of the Professor Dole segments, which is when you're looking at games for that night, look at the games for the next night. That's when the odds come out, and that's when you get the best prices.
It's also very interesting where the market moves it to, so that way you can better project where it's going to be tomorrow or the next couple games. So that's one of my big things right now is I've been looking at just seeing which teams the market loves, and it's been the Sens, the Preds, the Pittsburghs, a lot of those kind of teams where they're middling and everyone's trying to catch the hot streak before they do.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the Sens here, -155 even. Third game in 4 nights for Minnesota, coming off that emotional win in Montreal for Fleury. I think letdown spot here, and yeah, the odds are clearly reflecting that as they move and will continue to move. All right, let's go down to 7 o'clock again here at the Nashville Predators, -108 at the Pittsburgh Penguins, -112. Under 6.5 is -125. Over 6.5 +105. Smitty, take this one.
Yeah, rub in the salt a little bit deeper. Give me a Preds game after they just lost. I appreciate that. Pittsburgh's been playing unders. Nashville plays anyway everybody else plays. If you go down 2, they'll come back, but then they'll give up 4 at the same time. So you can't take an over and under at this point. Saros is starting tomorrow. Long-winded answer to say I really don't have anything. I could be torn and be sold on either way right now. If had to look away, it'd probably be Pittsburgh. They've been getting some solid goaltending lately, and they need to turn it around. Preds have just been falling apart left and right. So there's no hope at this point.
Pittsburgh coming off a long road trip, 6 or 7 games, including games way out on the West Coast. Of course, not a Malinsky special. The Preds playing tonight, and Pittsburgh having 2 days off. So yeah, even still, that's not an ideal situation coming home like that. So that's good for the Preds at least. On the back-to-back, having their better goaltender in net. So yeah, I'm looking at the Preds way. Yeah. The total again, like you can usually count on the Pens overs earlier in the season, but that's dried up quite a bit with Nedeljkovic playing a lot better and their offense being rather pitiful lately. So yeah, I've stayed away from the total altogether. But if I had to play a side, it would be the Preds.
Yeah, I'm torn on this game here. I know Saros did not start tonight, but he didn't dress tonight either due to an illness. So I wonder if that's just some gamesmanship giving him the night off fully, or if maybe he is sick. And if so, I don't know if they're going to go back to Annernin tomorrow or if they'll call someone up. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the goalies there. But yeah, Joel also brought up Pittsburgh coming off a 7-game road trip, played out in Utah there on Wednesday night, got the overtime winner from Sidney Crosby. But yeah, 2 days off to come back home. We'll see if those old joints out there can get going here. So I would maybe play the Pens now at -112, thinking the line will move that way, but I really have no strong feelings here. Nashville only 6-16-4 on the road, 2-5 on back-to-back. So yeah, just a slight look to the Penguins here, if anything.
Sends back to -148, so we got some buyback on the Wild.
All right. All right, we are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. Underdog is always making it easier to win with Profit Boost and Gimme Pick'ems. NFL, college basketball, NHL, NBA, NASCAR, and more. You can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. So sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code HGP. And we're brought to you by Rhythm, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build you a model for you. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Fuck you, Smitty, for opening that cancel loudly. Right in my
Couldn't
face.
help myself.
Right in my eardrums.
Yes.
All right, still here at 7 p.m. We got the Winnipeg Jets -102 at the Washington Capitals -112. Under 5.5 -122. Over 5.5 +102 here. Caps coming home from a long road trip as well, but they were out west for 4 and then went to Ottawa on Thursday night. Lost there in overtime. Now back home with just one night off, but back in the time zone. Winnipeg, though, 5 in a row, including at Montreal, at Boston. The last 4 have been by margin here. So maybe Jets on the reverse cowgirl here. I'm not sure what that's going to be paying off, but I mean, the Capitals rarely lose by 2, let alone give up 2 goals. I mean, like they've been so good defensively here. So the only play has to be the under 5.5 -112. Winnipeg's offense has been good recently, but I think the Caps can slow them down. And hopefully it's Hellebuck for the under's sake here.
It's a pick'em game, Ryan. So, of course, the -1.5 should be the same price as the Capitals there. Maybe +235.
Not always.
Okay. Well, this is a true Malinsky special, so I'm just blindly betting. It's been very good to us this season. And the Jets are rolling right now. They're just stomping all over every team. Of course, they got the best goalie in the league there, and Connor Hellebuck, who should be playing this game. You would expect. It would be a Hockey Night in Canada game. So yeah, Jets here -108, like that quite a bit. Under 5.5, even at a juicy -122, like that as well. Capitals offense is really struggling lately. Got a couple fluky goals there against the Sens, but otherwise just struggling to score goals all over the place. And their underlying numbers offensively are really, really bottom tier. They're just relying on some elite shooting percentage lately. So their PDO is off the charts. So yeah, Jets here and the under.
I know Joel hates to review the tape on how well the officials did on a hockey game. The Capitals got lucky in the third period on a lot of the calls. There were some missed calls against them, and then they got some weak calls for them. So they scored quite a few power play goals in that third period that helped keep them back and get them back in that game against the Sens. The under is the way I would look, even though we're about to go to 5 here soon enough. It's hard. But I do like the Jets. I already bet the Jets. So, yeah, this would say they're about in the same category. And I would say the Jets on a road trip, I don't mind it at all. So they can play fast. They can play slow. The Jets have looked really good. They play a lot faster at home. So I would not look towards an over, but I do like the Jets.
Yeah, we'll see if this line moves. There's nothing like a hard 5 on a Saturday night. All right, down to 7 o'clock again here.
Not at 7 o'clock, though. You got to wait till at least 1 or 2 in the morning. Come on now.
Maybe 7 a.m. Maybe 7 a.m. We got the New York Islanders plus 140 at the Tampa Bay Lightning minus 166. Over 5.5 is minus 130. Under 5.5 plus 110 here. Joel, what do you got?
Another under, of course. Islanders just play under games. I mean, yet another one there against the Flyers, shutting them out. No problem. Doesn't matter who the Isles put in net. Sorokin should be playing this one against the fellow Russian Vasilevsky. Yeah, definitely a goalie game here. So yeah, plus 110 on the under 5.5. I know Lightning are one of the best offensive teams in the league, but the Islanders are having no problem stifling every offense these days, including the Avalanche a few days ago. Under 5.5 is my favorite bet here. The Islanders plus 140 is a little interesting. The way the Lightning are playing lately, not exactly consistent, pretty weak, in fact. And the Islanders, of course, have all the momentum going as they make their late playoff push here, getting right back in the mix. It's yet another team to look out for and for that wild card spot. The under 5.5 would be the only play for me.
Be careful with that under 5.5. Isles do play on Sunday, and Hogberg is on injured reserve, so he's going to miss the next couple games. So then they have to bring up their fourth goaltender.
Garrick, I think his name is.
Yeah. I do like the Lightning minus 1.5. The Islanders have been playing well, but there's a lot of defensive injuries on that side. When is it going to start to wear out, and when is the game just going to blow up in their face? So I have no problem taking the Lightning minus 1.5 plus 160. And I would wait to see who's playing in net for the Islanders.
It would make more sense to play Sorokin against the Lightning, considering they're likely to fall out of the playoffs. So then Florida, they play them the next night. But then again, on the back-to-back, teams like to play their starters to give them a better chance on the second night. So, yeah, we'll see. But either way, I'm going with the under 5.5. Yeah, the Isles goaltending has been elite. Doesn't matter who they put back there.
I think I'm going with that under 5.5 as well, especially at plus 110. Like, this is one of the times where we complain about this juicy minus 130, but I think I'd rather take the plus 110 or plus 116 I'm still seeing elsewhere rather than a minus 110 or minus 115 at 6 in a game like this. Could see a 2-2 overtime game, but Lightning here playing a lot of low-scoring games, as are the Islanders. I will say Michkov did score on the power play, and there was some light goaltender interference that Patrick Waugh challenged for in one there in the first period. But otherwise, Islanders have been great defensively. But keep an eye out for the goalie. The backup could scare you off a little bit of the under here. So goaltenders do matter here for the Isles.
Tony DeAngelo, how about that guy? Ever since he came in the lineup, I was just
he's back. Yeah,
he's giving them some juice.
Who needs Noah Dobson or Ryan Pouliot?
Yeah, right.
And they just got Boquist from the Panthers too off waivers. Not that he's good, but
Perunovich from the Blues.
Yeah. All right, down to the final game on the docket here. Got the Detroit Red Wings plus 100 at the Calgary Flames minus 120. Over 5.5 minus 120. Under 5.5 plus 110. Smitty, close it out.
I do like the under 5.5 plus 100. I've been looking at the Flames, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. The Red Wings have played some impressive games lately against the Lightning, Kings, and Oilers, so that's what scares me off at this point. Both Red Wings goaltenders have been really well. Vladar, Flames play tomorrow, so that's the only thing that worries me about Vladar, but the Flames have been playing a very defensive hockey, but then, so I do like the under 5.5 at this point, and then I'm open to being sold on the Flames, but the Red Wings do scare me with how well they've played against 3 top teams.
Yeah, both teams play on Sunday. Detroit go to Vancouver. The under, I guess, would be the look. Doesn't matter who's in net. Vladar's a very good backup as well. So even if it's not Wolf, although it should be Wolf, I imagine he'll get this one on Saturday night at home, considering how well he's played there. But yeah, I like the Flames regardless. -120. Red Wings are fortunate to win that game against the Oilers, and that's a big win for them. So a bit of a letdown. Flames are rolling. Excellent at home team. So I like the Flames here. -120. When have they ever let me down? So yeah, Flames in the under for me.
Yeah, the Flames are on the road on Sunday, so I do imagine they give Dustin Wolf to start at home. I mean, his splits are still crazy. At home, .935 save percentage. On the road, .888 there. So I mean, might as well take advantage of that. Get the first win on Saturday night. So yeah, I like the under 5.5 for that reason. +100 here, and whether it's Talbot or Lyon, they're both playing well in net for Detroit, who can't really score that much given their forwards, and they're playing well defensively. So yeah, under 5.5 +110 or +100 for me. All right, that is the 9-game slate on Saturday, February 1st. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we get into the puck bets?
I should mention I bet Knights beat Senators Cup final 350 to 1.
Oh my god,
Senators 350 to 1.
If they win the division, they're right in the mix. The East is fucking weak, as I keep saying. You never know. They keep rolling. They could do it for a month and a half stretch there, and then just get slaughtered by the eventual Stanley Cup champions.
if they make it that far, I may have to become a Sens fan then.
They're pesky. They're definitely pesky.
Oh my god,
Not too pesky though.
No, can't be too pesky.
oh.
What did you get the Knights at for the Stanley Cup when you got them back like a month ago or 2 months ago?
I bet them so many times. But I think the biggest one was like +1950, almost 20 to 1.
I mean, there's still 14 to 1, 13 to 1 out there. So like,
I
if you
know.
want to get on board, I mean,
Not too late. It's not too late to join the night train.
It's never too late in Vegas. Never too late. All right then. Puck bets here for Saturday. I'll start off here. I got the Chicago puck line +1.5 at +120 for 20. Chicago money line +320 for 5 puck bucks there. Boston -115 for 30. Carolina puck line +160 for 25. Toronto +140 for 25. Winnipeg -108, and the under 5.5 in that one at -122, both for 30. And then the under 5.5 in Islanders Lightning +110, and Detroit Calgary +100 under 5.5, both for 25.
So there have been goalie updates for the Rangers Bruins. The line went to +105 on the under 5.5.
Let me take
If
a
there
look
have not been any
here.
confirmation.
I have not seen it. Nothing on left wing lock here.
Okay. Bruins, Rangers, under 5.5, +105, 20 puck bucks. Leafs, Oilers, under 6.5, -118, 20 puck bucks. Wild, Senators, under 5.5, -115, 20 puck bucks. Kings, Hurricanes, under 5.5, -112, 20 puck bucks. Jets, Capitals, under 5.5, -122, 20 puck bucks. We're going with a slim jam here, no doubt, tomorrow. Islanders, Lightning, under 5.5, +110, 20 puck bucks. Do I like any sides, really? I mean, the Sens line has gone up too much, but Flames, -120, 20 puck bucks on that. Yeah.
Right.
And the under 5.5, even money, 20 puck bucks. If the Slavy goes over tomorrow, I'm fucked.
All right, that is the puck bets there, just about the 44-minute mark in the YouTube video. If you want to check them out, also subscribe, leave us a comment, like while you are there checking us out on YouTube. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well. Here, all right. Anything else for the weekend? Any golf? Anything else before we close it out?
I'll probably wait till Sunday when I'm just lying on my couch, hurting. I'll fire off some bets.
Yeah. Good luck there. Good luck. All right. Follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. I'm Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at RGilbertSOP.
I'm Joel Martin. You'll find me one wisdom tooth lighter the next time you see my ugly face.
And I'm Schmitty, enjoying a beer and a glass of whiskey tonight for Joel.
Fuck off.
See ya.